Hey guys, I hope you're all excited for my first new video of the decade, but first, this part of the video was sponsored by Google Play. What the? Nani? Who the heck are you?
That's right, I'm you, but dubbed.
Ew, dubbed?
It matters not, for I challenge you to play Captain Tsubasa Dream Team.
Captain Tsubasa Dream Team? Whoa!
That's right, Captain Tsubasa Dream Team is now available on the Google Play Store. Build up your team in the most flashy anime sports game based on the original show and manga. Look at this guy! He has a freaking tiger! There's tons of different ways to play the game, and it's easy to pick up and play too. Go up against other people's teams, power up your characters, manage defensive and offensive positions, and rank up in story mode by experiencing the original story by defeating other teams. Or you can do what I like to do and pass it to Captain Tsubasa and use his special skill shot, drive shot. Dang! This guy doesn't even stand a chance! There was an owl! I can't believe he's even trying. See, I told you. You can even play online matches in real time against other players.
So go download Captain Tsubasa Dream Team on Google Play right now, and a big thanks to Google Play for sponsoring this portion of the video. Thanks.
SpaceHamster!
Hey, it's Hammy here, and welcome to my first video of the decade! We made it! It's 2020! Yay!
I foresee this to be the year of your demise!
What? What?
Oh, you're not Gary? I've, got the wrong house!
Oh, thank God I'm not canceled yet. Which means it's time to celebrate. January is kind of like a dead month for us YouTubers.
February 2.
We can do whatever we want. Yeah! Oh, wait, we already did that.
For the longest time now, I've actually wanted to talk about pinball games. There's something awesome about walking into an arcade and seeing a line of pinball machines ready to be played. Oh, what's that? Do you know of a pinball place that has free play? I'm down. Let's go get a pizza and get our greasy hands all over the little buttons on the side. We can make some dad jokes like, oh, I'm going full tilt. I've always been super into pinball ever since I was a kid. It probably stems from growing up around arcades. I don't want to stir up any controversy or anything, but Medieval Madness and Champion Pub are like the best pinball machines out there. But then, tragedy. The Great Arcade War led to the arcade crash of the 90s. No longer could you easily play pinball. For profitable, no more it was. And then barcades became a thing. Turns out if you add alcohol to stuff, it becomes more profitable. But that costs a lot of money. Well, it's a good thing there's video games then. We should talk about those.
And in order to add a bit of structure to this video, I'm mainly going to be focusing on Nintendo consoles' best and worst pinball games.
So no Space Cadet 3D pinball. Oh God, it's so beautiful. This one wins, it's the best! And that also means no Sonic Spinball. I mean, Sonic on a Nintendo console? Like that'll ever happen. Instead, I say we start from the very beginning and work our way through the years. Starting with Pinball NES. As this was one of the first pinball games for home consoles, and its release was in 1983, you can probably imagine the simplicity. It's kind of like actually finding one of those old pinball machines from like the 50s or 60s. I guess the theme is aquatic mammals. There's seals, there's penguins. The board itself is split into different segments, which isn't uncommon back in the day. So it can be really jarring when the ball falls really fast down to the next screen and you have to acclimate really quickly. But honestly, it's so simple there's barely anything to say about it. The coolest part is if you can get into this hole right here. You end up in some minigame where you control Mario and you have to bounce the ball through all these numbers. Oh, and looky, it's Pauline. I actually didn't know that she was in another game. Oh, that's probably why. But yeah, like I said, it's really simple. There's not really a whole lot going on, and in my opinion, the bottom part of the screen is leaving something to be desired. Which means it's time for Kirby's Pinball Land. Now, this was basically the first time that Nintendo had a mascot pinball game that was more in the adventure style. And what better one to pick than Kirby? I mean, he's already evolved. And hey, it's on the go to move because this is a Game Boy game. You have 3 different boards to choose from, and you have to conquer all of them and the bosses on each board. And you have to do all of this in just 3 balls before you game over. It is actually a lot harder than you think. Oh, you're oh so close to victory. No! You're done! I'm just trying to go around living my life, dude. My pinball life. Please! So we got Wispy, we got Cracko, and we got Poppy. I don't know what any of these things are. Mama always told me to stay away from Cracko, so we'll do that one last. The first thing you're going to notice is that all these boards are split into sections like the Pinball NES game, but they have a lot more going on. Wispy, for example, has this bullshit. Look at this smug as hell Kirby up here, gatekeeping me from the top of the board. You gotta make all the slot machine readouts Kirby, or you have to get on top of him twice, before he's basically like, ah, yeah, sure, okay, here you go.
Wait, Kirby 4, is not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted.
The only thing I don't like about this game is on most of the boards on the bottom part of the board, they make it very difficult to leave that area. So the bottom part of the board is the only place you can lose lives. You with me so far? This is going to be on the test. You do have a chance to save yourself from death with a timing-based minigame, but it doesn't change the fact that it's really hard to leave these areas most of the time. Oftentimes, there's just stuff right in the middle of the board, so you have to pull off some crazy trick shot just to even get around it. They're like little quests though, you have to do so many things or hit them so many times before they let you kind of go up to the next level. Now the second level usually has a really difficult mechanic meant to keep you there for as long as possible. Like on this Wispy stage, you have to hit this moving rain cloud 3 times and then it moves over to Kirby and rains on him and then you have to get on top of Kirby in like the next 5 seconds or it resets. It's hard, okay? I mean, you already saw the slot one, that one's kind of annoying too. And then on this one, you have to time hitting Kirby at the precise moment so he spits out a squid, but don't hit the other one because then he'll eat it. And then you have to hit yourself into the squid so he tosses you up to the next level. Finally, we're at the top of the board, and you know what that means? It's time to get to business. The top of the board usually has some sort of precision-based mission. Kill the sun and the moon. Hatch all the chickens. I don't make the rules.
Then and only then will the star guiding you to the next boss arrive.
But you better get there in a couple seconds or else it'll go away. What? No! This is when the game really kicks into overdrive. You gotta beat the boss without losing, or you're sent all the way back and the whole thing resets. It's just a little bit of pressure. I'm sure you can handle it. Don't worry, I'm sure you can free the chickens as many times as needed to face off against the boss. What? No! No! Oh my god, I only want to die a little bit. So the first boss is Wispy Woods. Honestly, he's not too difficult, just hit him a bunch. And then you have the Cloud Guy. He's quite a bit more difficult because he can actually paralyze your flippers. And then you have a Poppy Bro Senior. You have to hit this guy's bombs before they hit your flippers or else he paralyzes them. And then also, he splits into 2, making it twice as hard in the second phase of the fight. This is all incredibly hard to do on a single life. But if you somehow manage to do all of this, you beat all the bosses, you conquer all 3 boards, then you're sent back to the board select screen and you face off against King DDD. What the heck? He's so hard! I don't know how any sane person is supposed to do all this, let alone on a Game Boy screen. Imagine trying to play this game at night, like in the car, so you can barely see you're trying to use any street lamp that passes as a source of light. And don't forget, if you die, it's all over and you have to start all the way over. Was it worth it? You tell me. Next up, we got a fan favorite, Pacman Pinball. Pacman Pinball is just legit a good pinball game. There's so many cool mechanics at work here. First off, you have to choose between the red or the blue board, and there are a lot of differences on how the boards play. Also, just like in the video games, there's only certain Pokemon you'll find on each board. So the red board is laid out like a pretty traditional pinball machine. You have pathways that go all the way around on each side, and you have the bumpers in the middle. The goal of the entire game is to catch 150 Pokemon for the Pokedex, and you do that by activating the catch sequence and actually catching a Pokemon. Once you've activated the sequence, you have to hit the bumpers to make the picture appear, and then the Pokemon appears itself, where you have to hit it a few more times to catch it. Every time you catch 3 Pokemon, a bonus is activated and you have a chance to face off against one of the bosses. You get to pummel the crap out of Meowth with a ball. He drops money too. Score! Then Then you get spit out back to the main board and you can travel to a different location and rinse and repeat. There's like 6 different bosses in the game and it kind of depends on which board you're on. You gotta go into the spooky cemetery filled with ghosts. You gotta face off against an army of Diglets, you know, just normal stuff. And then eventually you have to go against Mewtwo in the final showdown. But really, it's only worth points and you're gonna be spending most of your time on the board. Speaking of which, the blue board has a few different mechanics, namely gravity-based ones. You have to activate this weird gravity source to go either right or left into these tunnels. If you don't have either of those paths activated, you just go up to the bumpers. Your other objective is to evolve Pokemon because you can't just catch every Pokemon. But you do that to get all 150 Pokemon you can claim to be the very best. Like no one ever was. They actually made a sequel to this game, believe it or not, and it's pretty much better in every way. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire Pinball. Not only does it look a lot better because it's for the Game Boy Advanced, but it also plays a lot better. The ball physics feel great here. But honestly, there isn't a whole lot to say about it because it's essentially the exact same game. The cool things are that there's a bunch of new boss battles and minigames, like having to fight Kyogre in what feels like an actual boss battle. They've even added a Pokemart so you can actually buy different power-ups if you're doing really well. But by far the best part is the fact that you can hatch Pokemon now. Once you hatch them, they run around the entire board and they're actually really hard to hit because of how small they are. But it's nice because it gives you another way to catch Pokemon. Just like in the last game, there's 2 different boards and your objective is still to collect all the Pokemon for the Pokedex. In my opinion, it's a pretty fun and chill time, mostly due to the music, but also just because of how unique and charming the boards are. So this is for sure a good one. Moving on.
The Pinball of the Dead.
Don't let that logo fool you. This only came out on the Game Boy Advance. This wasn't even a game I knew existed until now, and I'm actually kind of glad I do. This thing is actually pretty jam-packed with content, too. I mean, you're telling me I get to hit a bunch of zombies with my pinballs?
Actually, never mind. I'm pretty sure that's how the infection started.
In my opinion, this game is actually pretty sweet though. Even though the graphics are in the territory of, what exactly is that? There's 3 different boards to choose from and they all have really unique layouts and mission objectives. There's even some boss battles and really big zombie heads that pop out of the middle of the board.
Are you alright, James?
No, I'm not. My ball's gone. I feel like this one gets a pass purely on its unexpectedness and uniqueness. Sonic Pinball Party. Wait, there was another Sonic Pinball game?
For the Game Boy Advanced.
It has a story? What?
Hey, Sonic, you aren't going to the tournament, are you? You should give up before you hurt yourself.
What did you say? This is so much immersion for my pinball game. Okay, Neo Green Hill Zone. Oh my god. I'm having a really hard time tracking this ball. There's a lot of really big, bright colors on screen, color clashing here, and it's making it really difficult for me to see where the ball is. I don't know about this one, guys. I mean, the board seems fine, and there's other levels too, including a Knights board. Hey, you can even combine your favorite pastimes, pinball and gambling. Oh, in a tiny Chow Garden?
Oh, never mind, it's the best game! We got a winner here, it's the best game!
No, Chow!
Mario Pinball Land!
Oh yeah, a Mario pinball game.
This is the one! I'm telling you guys right now! This is gonna be the best!
Oh my god, it sucks. Okay, at first glance, it looks like a really, really cool game, right? Who wouldn't want to play an adventure Mario pinball mashup? And it's true, there's a few things that are actually really cool about this game.
Namely that you can collect all the stars and end the game early.
This game is just so frustrating. Every room, it doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but it totally is that hard. It's like the Dark Souls of pinball games, I'm telling you. In fact, I'd take Dark Souls over this thing any day. Dark Souls isn't even that hard. It starts with minor little annoyances, like when you hit all the doors on the board, they all close again. Everything in this game moves so quickly, you barely have any time to control where Mario's going. All the enemies just keep respawning and getting in your way. It's really hard to control Mario's momentum, which just makes it even harder to be precise and do what you want to do. You wouldn't think that going into a room and having to kill 8 enemies would actually be that difficult. What if the enemies were small and they moved pretty quickly? What if the whole thing reset once one of those enemies hit the middle? Now kill 8 of those guys in a row for a star. Have fun. Or how about go to the next room down where you have to fight these shy guys on a timer before they get behind these pillars? Oh good, another one of these rooms. I'm having fun. I think that one of the only redeeming qualities this game actually has is that it can save your progress, and you're definitely gonna be glad that it does. Okay, some of the rooms and puzzles are actually pretty good, and some of the boss fights are pretty fun, but those aren't the parts of the game that actually stick out. And unless you're like some sort of savant at the game and you're doing amazingly well, you're not gonna have much money to go to Toad's shop and buy power-ups.
Hey, what are you looking at, man?
But I mean, hey, at least we get some good lore behind the game. It's always good to know how people become a pinball. Just imagine a really difficult boss battle where you can get kicked out of the room and reset the whole thing. That's the final boss. Okay, wise guy, this boss isn't even all that difficult when you think about it. Just hit Mario around in a circle, hit these wheels so they raise these thwomps up, and then you can hit this power switch to drop the thwomps, knocking Bowser over, and then you can hit him one time. You have to do that 3 times, but then there's another phase to the fight. Oh, also, don't forget, if you get knocked down, the whole fight resets. Then you gotta knock Bowser around a bunch of times without losing your ball, then you knock him against the wall. Knock him out of the castle, and you finally win. Or do you? Are you kidding me? There's a true ending to this pinball game? I'm gonna save you guys a lot of time right now. The true ending is this. I'm not even joking. Fuse Interactive, you've made an enemy today. This game could have been so good. What happened? Well, now it's time to move on to Pac-Man Pinball. God, no, please, no more. I don't know what to say. This one is just actually really bad. You know what I mean? It's just lacking a certain quality. You know, fun. So, moving on to Metroid Prime Pinball. Wait a second. Fuse Games! I can't believe it. So the same guys who made the Mario Pinball Land ended up making a Metroid Prime Pinball game. And only about a year apart? I mean, I gotta say it, I'm not really looking forward to this one. Oh! No way! This one's actually really good! The ball physics are amazing, the boards are fun! This is exactly what I wanted out of the Mario game! This is a freaking awesome pinball game! There's lots of intense missions that take over the board, there's some different mini games that you can play, and you can even take on a bunch of bosses! So I guess you could say the objective of the game is to collect all these artifacts. And you can do that by essentially just doing anything, but you gotta complete achievements. You know, beat different minigames, defeat the bosses, or even get a high score. So collect as many artifacts on a single board as you can, and then travel to the other boards. You can even get some power-ups for Samus and use them to take down the bosses. It's kind of ironic, actually, that the one I was least looking forward to playing ended up being one of my favorite games. Now this is one I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, a game called Odama. This one is super weird, but really unique. In fact, one of the primary ways you control this game is with the Gamecube microphone. So the boards of the game are like battles, and you have something called the Odama, which is actually just a really fancy word for the pinball. So each map's gonna have different objectives that progressively get harder, and this game is really hard. Unless you know what you're doing, you're gonna die a lot. It's not even just about using the pinball either. You have a lot of things to keep track of. You of course have to keep control of the Odama, but you also have to control the bell. The bell is escorted by soldiers, and you have to give it commands with the microphone. And the soldiers themselves can die and have to be redeployed by you, and there's only a reserve of so many. What complicates things just a little bit more is that you can kill your own soldiers. Take this! Oh, whoops. I flooded all my soldiers. I can't even tell you how many times I thought I was winning, and then I end up killing most of my own soldiers and end up losing the game. But honestly, I think I gotta hand it to this game. It's definitely one of the most unique pinball games, or just games in general, I've ever played. So it definitely goes on my good pile. If you get a chance to play it, you have to check it out. Well friends, we've done it. We've conquered a lot of pinball games today, but now there's only one more.
What is happening?
Oh, it's Flipper Critters, deal with it. So I guess the story of this game is that there's 2 birds, and then one of them's like, I'm bored, tell me a story. Flipper Critters, baby. Heck yeah, let's frickin' play. Oh wait, more story? You can reach Billy Goat, mayor of the town, and Noble Sensei by crossing the bridge. Noble Sensei, huh? Billy Goat, the Noble Sensei? I mean, this game is fine. I mean, obviously it's made for kids, but the music and the graphics kind of overstay their welcome almost immediately. It does do a better job than like Mario Pinball Land at actually being more of an adventure.
Hey, what are you looking at?
But honestly, it's just kind of boring. And if I had to put my finger on it, I think it has to do with the fact that there's a lack of arcadey sound effects with some punch. And the music isn't really invoking any kind of adventure. It feels like I'm playing a nursery rhyme. It just keeps going and going. I can't take it anymore.
Oh, great and wise, noble Billy Goat Sensei, can you not make a better game?
No, my good son. I do not have that power.
Lame.
Instead, why don't you try some of these?
Drugs!
Has this ever happened to you? Has a noble sensei Billy Goat ever offered you drugs? Well, there's only one solution I know of. More pinball!
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, been wanting to talk about pinball games for a good while now, so it was fun. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more videos like these. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thanks to everyone who gives me art or supports me over on Patreon. You guys are the best. And if you just can't wait for more videos, I got 2 more videos for you right there. I'll see you guys next time.